Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. And today we're taking a look at finally what will be probably the last figure from Transformers Legacy Evolution that I'll review. This is Voyager class Trashmaster. This is a Junkian, and if you remember from the Evolution line, these are modular figures, but they do have perfect transformation. Um, I got this figure from Amazon sometime last year, late last year, and I've explained this before, but I get ready to review something, something newer comes in, and stuff just gets pushed to the side. But I do like being able to complete a line with you, which if you actually go and look, um, I really don't get to do that that often. Like I'll just lose interest in a figure or it'll get pushed to the side. You know, Voyager class Siege Snapdragon is a good example. And that was a figure that I was very excited for, but I think with the plastic of ape quality of ape face, I kind of dialed it back. But I'm going off on a tangent. Trashmaster is supposed to be a Junkian style uh, garbage truck, much like animated Wreck-Gar. Um, but it has a little bit more of that Mad Max vibe going with the chains here on the side and stuff like that. Now I'm a little disappointed that we do have these separate pieces that are for like the arms that would pick up the big dumpster and then bring it over. You would think they would be able to connect to something back here that they could get that action going, but nope, everything pegs in rather solidly. This part right here that becomes the hand weapon, um, and something else which we'll get into, that really there's no way to reach, but it rolls. And I have to say that out of all the Junkians, I would say that oh, that's interesting. This was popped apart, but I would say that Trashmaster is the easiest to transform. The modular nature doesn't get in the way of the transformation. Stuff doesn't pop apart. With that being said, though, unfortunately, my copy, there is some looseness, which we'll see in robot mode, which we will get to right now. Okay, to start the transformation, what you want to do is come around to the back here, flip this section up, and then just lift off and remove this piece. This is the hand weapon, one of the hand weapons in robot mode. You got that going on here. A little more on that later. And next, what you want to do is come around to the side and pop open these panels right about here. Oh, no, do not pop anything open yet. My mistake. First thing you want to do is come into the front here and bring that section down. That actually will lock stuff into place, and then you can bring these panels forward. Now, at this point, if you had wanted to, you can remove this part right here and replace it with the front of axle grease for some sort of like Mad Max style. Go with that Mad Max vibe even more. So that is mentioned in the instructions. So once you have that piece down, go ahead and bring the legs down. They peg in underneath the arms here. That's the back of the feet. And what you're going to do is swing it forward. Actually, swing those panels down first. Oh, I'm having fun here. They do. I mean, this is one of the things. There is like a lot of rotate. They're like these rotate, and more often than not, they'll just pop off because that's what they do. I mean, they're supposed to come off. I should say that, but just snap that into place. Bring those panels down. Actually, no, leave them up. Bring that down. Rotate that around to the back. Alrighty. And now, if it hasn't already happened, separate the legs. Um, they mostly peg in with that tab right there. And then there's another tab on that lower ankle. But as you saw, they have a tendency to split, but they're held together uh, by the arms in vehicle mode. Flip down the feet. Now, some of you might actually have get Trashmaster or have gotten Trashmaster with the feet flipped up because the instructions show that as a pre-transformation, like a a pre-step folding the feet down. Mine came shipped down, so there's that. And then, of course, we can now bring down those side panels. I like how, with the collapsing of the torso there, you can rotate around these panels. That's kind of cool. So now what you're going to do is come to the back here, separate the arms, bring them around. That there's a slot there, tab right there, that will peg into place. And then what you'll do is remove the arm from separate the arm at the bicep and the forearm because there's a tab section there. Rotate it around until the elbow's facing up, and then rotate the hand into position. Do it again on this side, just like so. Rotate it up and around. Get the hands into position. There you go. And now what you want to do is flip this panel back, then come in here and lift up the head. It'll snap into place. And there you have Trashmaster in its robot mode. All this section just hangs off the back, so there is that. Now, before we get into more of the robot mode, in terms of what can separate, you do like I mentioned these pieces here, the side panels there, and the legs can all detach. Surprisingly, the arm and uh, the arms, the fists, the cool stuff I would say that I would want to detach, and you can see it is a little floppy. They all stay. It's all one piece. So basically, from like the knees, like this core section is all one piece. So I'm not really sure what you would do with it outside of combining it with pieces from some of the deluxes. Now with this hand weapon, I kind of wanted it to like be able to peg into the arm here, like on the side, and you can, but then you lose a lot of the functionality. What you're meant to do is using the that peg right there, because the other peg would clash with the blasters on the forearm, on the fist. Peg that in. If I can get it to peg in. Oh, what's going on here? There we go. And then bring that down. And you do have the mouth can open, the jaws can open there slightly. That's kind of cool, but it's like you're kind of losing out on these great blasters here. I mean, that's why I'm a little disappointed the arms can't remove because I mean that kind of looks like the feeding system. So these are like giant hydraulic machine guns or something. And also, I'm sure if you guys can tell right now, Trashmaster and the rest of the Junkions can actually combine into a dinosaur called Junkosaurus Rex, and this is actually the jaw and head of it. So there was never any official instructions on how that was supposed to happen, and it's kind of interesting that they were meant to combine with a Decepticon, but it is what it is. But yeah, now if you want to store this on the back, you can just flip the head up like that, and it'll peg in just like that. Not too bad. Um, Articulation is basic for what you're getting. I do appreciate the hip panels. You have the rotation here, deep knee bend, foot articulation, the ankle pivot, waist articulation. The head can swivel, and you got a your standard arm movement, and the fist can rotate, which is kind of cool. So all in all, Trashmaster is a good figure, and I think actually you can still find it on shelves right now as I'm doing this review. Uh, I don't think the United stock has really pushed things through, and who knows, you might even be able to find it on a clearance or a deal or something. I mean, I know some people would say now wait for Ross or the Ollies or something, but you can never be too sure with these figures what'll show up. And but yeah, that's about it for the review. So I guess we'll pause and we'll come back with my final thoughts. And hopefully this time that ending won't get cut off. All in all, I like Trashmaster and I think it was a fine figure. Definitely the best of the Junkians that we got in Evolution. But in terms of actual usefulness with the parts that we get, I just don't see it. And that's a little disappointing because, like I mentioned with like the arm, with the fist guns and stuff, it would have been cool to build something up with another figure. Um, as I said in the beginning, I got this figure from Amazon. I actually think it's still available there now too, so you can go and grab it off of Amazon. Um, but yeah, all in all, Evolution was a solid line. I really appreciated how towards the end we got characters from really far reaches of the Transformers universe. While yes, that last deluxe wave was a bunch of pre-tools and retools of figures that haven't been released yet, all in all, I think it was a solid line. And as I said before, United has started off on the good foot. That's about it. If you like this review, like, comment, and subscribe. While I will always appreciate the views, the likes, comments, and subscriptions help to communicate to YouTube through the algorithm that my channel should be exalted and held upon high. To make the ultimate sign of support, I do have a Patreon. It is www.patreon.com/chuckdog1999. All I ask for is $1 a month, $12 a year. No thrills, no tears, no special rewards. All you're doing is helping me help you to help me help you bring figures like Trashmaster to you, as well as keeping up the infrastructure of the channel. But as I always say, if you can't afford the $1 a month, $12 a year, your views are more than thanks enough. Patreon is just a cherry on top of an already generous Sunday. So that's about it. I do want to again thank you all for watching. This is your old pal Chuck for Trashmaster. We will see you next time.